And what are your thoughts on selflessness and sort of, the aspect of hosting travelers and, the way I see it is it's kind of a symbiotic selflessness thing because, the people putting in the time to help you, but then also you being selfless and letting people into your home and sharing your life. I mean, that's that seems to me like the higher. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but just a very selfless thing to do is I feel to let people into your home, especially when you have dependents. And so, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I wish I could say I thought I was being really selfless, but it just sure doesn't feel like that.
Perspective.
It feels very. I feel privileged to be able to do it. I feel really lucky that I have an extra room in my house, and I mean, it feels like. Sometimes I feel like not worthy. I shouldn't be able to do this. This is just, I just don't want to take it for granted or something. It's such a real. It's just a win-win, like you said, a symbiotic relationship. But it really just feels like it's good for everybody. And wow. That's not something you get to feel that often, where it kind of feels so balanced in that way. It's really brilliant, and so I can't say that I feel really selfless doing it. The people, in fact, my observation has been that you and the other people who put yourself in a position to do this. I mean, it's really a process of humbling yourself, I think. Most people are pretty overqualified to be doing what they're doing, but it's the other benefits that come along with it that make it meaningful and make it work. For me, because I've had some important things to work on this last year, it feels like, I mean, I just don't know how I could have done that without you being there. So the selflessness I feel and I see is all on your side.
Well, the point I want to make is you mentioned the privacy. You're kind of giving up, whatever percentage of your privacy. And I feel like a lot of people, especially in America, wouldn't ever consider doing something like that because that's, they want their privacy, and that's
and again, that's, well, this isn't a privacy issue, but this is why I do a background check, because I do have a small child, and I take her safety very seriously, and it's why I didn't want to do this initially when my ex-husband talked me into it, and I'm very thankful for that. I give up that privacy gladly. It is a small trade-off, and it still feels right. It feels good. It doesn't feel like an imposition to me. I don't feel like I'm losing something by that. It just feels like a gain for my daughter and for me.
Yeah. If you could sum up one sort of major complaint about the typical or average, American lifestyle, what would it be, do you think?
See, you're going to be in a much better position to answer that question than I am, because you're going to witness what is average, and I guess there's probably no average. But having lived in another country. I've lived in a few other countries, but most recently it was before coming here. And yeah, it's sort of the fire hose effect of there's something coming at you all the time, I guess. There's so much to sift through in terms of email and fun things too. There's so much fun stuff to do that it's so. I think it's easy to become overwhelmed with everything we feel we need to do, and it's not sad. I think a lot of people suffer a lot because of that, and
Just receiving too much.
there's too much to try and juggle, I guess. But you know, having lived other places, there are things I really appreciate about being home in America. So, whereas I used to be sort of a vocal, I had a lot to say about what was wrong with America. I kind of embrace some of those things now. So.
That's the last question I have here is what are your thoughts on the 50-year plan, what I'm doing?
I'm fascinated. I admire it. I totally respect the idea of making a plan and going for it. It seems like a huge undertaking. And if I were you, I feel like I'd be shaking in my boots about this thing. But you seem to, you're going for it, and you seem very like you found what you need to be doing with your life, and I think that's beautiful. I wish I had that kind of clarity. I have that with my daughter. There's, I feel very much like this is what I'm meant to do, but I think it's a little different. But I just admire it. And then the sort of very practical side of me goes, but what about this? And what about that? And what about that? And I think, well, I'm sure Nick will figure it out, and he doesn't need me to, try and work on these issues for him. But it's cool. Yeah, really. I'm gonna stay tuned. I'm interested to see what happens.